Today I'm going to talk about the book Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams, subtitled A Cautionary Tale of Power, Greed, and Lost Idealism. Okay, this is the book. I'm actually going to talk about an extract from this book, which I find interesting in light of the grab for complete control of the American legislative, American judiciary system, and just about everything else by Trump. The extract from the book is about the company which today is called Meta. Anybody outside Wall Street knows as Facebook. Wynne Williams is a Kiwi. I'm half a Kiwi in spite of this hat and my accent from Southern Africa. My mother was a Kiwi. And it's interesting to see it from that part of the world's perspective. Essentially, we're talking about chapter 34. The chapter is entitled The Facebook Election. It's a chapter discussing the first Trump 1.0, as people are starting to call it, and how Facebook was involved. It's very detailed. There's a lot of detail in there which I sort of knew about, but didn't know that Facebook was that involved in promoting Trump and Republican candidacy. She's having a discussion after the election with a guy called Joel Kaplan, who was then Facebook's vice president of U.S. public policy, of which Wynne Williams was part of the team, so sort of her boss. And they're just at the back end of a meeting, in shock by a lot of people in Silicon Valley, not so much at all by the team that's in Washington, D.C. A Republican on the D.C. team, so a Republican on the Facebook D.C. team, had told her that Joel Kaplan, had cut checks for everyone except Trump. Joel admitted that he hadn't voted for Trump. Sarah Wynne Williams asked him, why was he so happy about the election of Trump when in fact he was very publicly pushing Jeb Bush. And Joel says, you're looking at the election all wrong. If you look at Trump's agenda, so I'm quoting from the book, if you look at Trump's agenda, it's the Republican agenda. It's the things we want. The things I want is tax cuts, it's less government. He'll get it done. Trump's got the Senate, he's got the House, it's decisive victory. We can do things, great things. Not only that, it's going to be great for tech and for business. Hands off, all systems go. Yay! But he has a qualifier. There are some things on the margin, he says, that will be difficult. And he's worried that Trump will not go far enough with things that really need to make a difference. So Sarah Wynne Williams asks, what are those? Cutting entitlements, Kaplan says. The biggest weakness with Trump is that without touching Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, he's not going to meaningfully change that much. What I find curious about this chapter, which was written, and this discussion between Sarah Wynne Williams, we give her a credit. This is a great book. If you really want to understand what happened, how Facebook evolved and what exactly happened behind the scenes, we can really understand, or we understand why Facebook has tried desperately to get the book banned. But as The Economist said in The Economist, the UK financial magazine, said in one of their articles this weekend, this was a really stupid way to go about doing it, because in fact the book is completely selling itself, because everybody wants to know, of course. Kaplan, in the meantime, was promoted this January. Some people remember. He was promoted to the position of President of Global Affairs at Meta, because now, of course, it's called back to be called Meta, which was a position he took over from a guy called Nick Clegg, who was Deputy British Prime Minister under David Cameron, who was famous, or rather infamous, depending on which side of the camp you're on, for being being the instigator of the Brexit vote. It's just really, really interesting that we've got a chapter from a book which talks to the first Trump administration all those years ago, where essentially what the guy is saying as a Republican, is exactly what Trump is doing now. And all the people who have been, or everybody who's been warning about this, who says he's not going to do it, he won't do this, he won't do that. It's just there is just to take the one aspect which I, as a lot of people know, follow the economy and financial markets. The It's going to be, as he says here, it's going to be great for tech and for business. That is what was since November elections last year. The whole of Wall Street was, yeah, this is going to be fantastic. Suddenly, in the last month, when we've had this debacle about tariffs, their tune has slowly but surely starting to grind to a change. We're 1st of April today. Hey, April Fool's Day. As far as I remember, April Fool's had to be done before midday. And this has been, I'm putting this together in the afternoon. So this is not an April Fool's, guy. But tomorrow is this famous tariff day. I forget what Trump wants to call it, or he don't care. He's going to go ahead with everything. Everybody says, "Oh, maybe it's going to be." There's all these little hopes all the time that he won't go as far as everybody expects him to go. That he will not. He will make exceptions all over the place. Tomorrow, I don't believe any of it. He'll go 100% full out. And that is the same for every single thing he's doing. He was voted for. Everybody wanted him. Now you put up with him, guys. See ya.